Welcome, Collective. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do an All Signs Collective message, a meditation on a variety of my own inspirations. One being Uranus is going to be moving direct in Taurus in early February, and there is necessarily a lot of focus on Neptune and Saturn moving into Aries, signaling a different leveling up, a new beginning, a refreshment, a rehealing for many of you that I'm speaking to. And Uranus has been in Taurus for quite a while, but has been moving backwards and now will be moving direct over area that has already been covered. And what's significant about this, I believe, is this idea of embodiment. So the healing process, the transformation process truly has often been portrayed in mythological terms as being born again. So there's death and then there's remembering. If you may, some of you recall that Isis had to collect up Osiris 2 times. Once when he was tricked into dying and being buried in a coffin by his brother. Isis goes and finds him with the aid of Thoth and hides him. And then when Seth finds him hidden, he chops up his body into 14 pieces and scatters them throughout Egypt. And Isis then, through her phenomenal love, her magic, her Heka, pursues the individual parts, and naturally she must enlist Thoth yet again to help her remember the penis, the active symbol, the phallic, the pillar of fertility. So this seems to me to be in alignment with where many of you who have been actively working on healing parts of yourself, really doing the shadow work, as we often call it, working with the unconscious elements, memories, patterns, behaviors that we have gotten honest with ourselves about, really pursuing where those narrative threads take us to, and how we have allowed these things to sometimes empower or block our desires. And so this reading is inspired by this idea about healing, having done the work, and then experiencing healing, and then needing to embody the enlightenment we've gained. And this in and of itself leads to another level of healing that is preparing many of you who are working not only in your community, in a global sense, but in a galactic sense, where many of us, through this work that we've been doing, are preparing to move to a level beyond our earthly knowledge or awareness. So I pulled obviously some oracle cards, and I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to actually use these cards as axis on the horoscope wheel, because that is what makes sense to me. And I describe Uranus, the powerful planet of, frankly, revolution, change, powerful intuition, the hand of God, the lightning, the awareness that we are questing for as we connect with like communities or dissimilar communities and individuals around the world. In Taurus has been about how we embody change in a way that is not cruel, that is kind, that takes care, that encourages us to not be the kind of harsh critics or outers that we may have experienced socially, either through our families or through our experiences in the social world that we live in. So I first pulled from the Egyptian sacred death the cow, and this always relates to Hathor, Isis, any number of fertility goddesses. And I pulled the fish, which is a powerful symbol of renewal and regeneration, but it also has a particular connection to uh, Jesus in Christian mythology, Christian religion. So I'm going to read these from the book to get us started, both of these at once. And this really is about the self and about the other, relationships in your life, contracts that you're actively, consciously working at and working towards. The cow reads, the key words being protection and fertility, a figure of protection and fertility, also known as the celestial cow, symbol of the deification of the cosmos and the Milky Way, protector of celestial harmony as well as fertility and earthly sovereignty. She brings stability and prosperity to life, just as a mother protects and nourishes her offspring. Under her influence, you can receive security and abundance, tranquility and hope, as if she were a beacon of stability in your life. Her presence guides you to find strength within yourself and cultivate the fertility of your creativity. Trust in the celestial cow with confidence and without fear, because under her protection, you can build a more harmonious and prosperous life with complete peace of mind. So I'm going to let that speak for itself and read the fish, which is really in the place of our significant relationships. And that absolutely includes our relationship to self. And I do believe that the idea of embodiment is really taking owner and responsibility of your physical and material experience, how we have been incarnated as a body in a material world, and really taking full responsibility for that rather than what sometimes we call spiritual bypassing, right? We have the knowledge, we have the enlightenment, let's just go with that. And it neglects the reality of how we are oftentimes limited or limiting ourselves because of our lack of attention to our physical world, the wellness of our bodies. The key words here are fluidity and relax. The fish is associated with the goddess Hatmahit, whose name means head of the fish and is revered as the protector of water, essential for agricultural prosperity. The fish is a creature that lives and thrives in the waters of the Nile, suggests the idea of purification and renewal. Relax. Everything is going well. Let go of your fears and worries. If you have to decide something, choose the option that brings you the most peace of mind. Avoid choosing a path that makes you anxious. The fish's ability to reproduce abundantly and renew itself continually in seasonal cycles reflects concepts of fertility and rebirth. The fish, pursue projects and ideas that can thrive and grow. The fish adapts to the flow of water. Be flexible and resilient in the face of changes and challenges. So that speaks to a broad spectrum of the sense of abundance that already exists in the world, adequate abundance that all can be well cared for. And I'm not talking about everyone living or mimicking a lifestyle such as what we enjoy in the Western world. I mean, adequate compensation that can support our needs, not fulfill all of our needs, but support our ability to thrive and grow. That exists on the planet currently. And the fish really speaks to this idea that you are constantly in a balance between putting yourself forward, experiencing revelation, insight, wisdom, knowledge, and flowing, relaxing, knowing when to engage at that level, when to receive abundance, appreciation, knowledge, to search for answers and to receive the abundance of information and resources that are around and exist. In the Soul's Journey Oracle card, naturally the word service applies. I feel good when I can help others. This is really the thread that ties these two together, right? Where many of you whom I'm speaking with now are at a place where you understand that service feels good for some non-specific reason, for some personal reason, for a variety of reasons. You understand that you benefit from what you are able to contribute to others. And this is a level of growth that you are experiencing where you're consolidated around something that many of you have automatically done or automatically known or understood. But learning to understand that gift, how it is most useful and productive, is part of your healing journey. And then malachite, beautiful malachite, keyword is healing. I am a healing machine manifesting miracles. So here we are, understanding that service is part of how we heal. When we're currently aligned, we are giving to self. We are prioritizing self-care. What it means to be embodied, to have our insights, understanding, revelation embodied, means being in a supreme flow that is subtle. It's not dramatic. It's not graphic. Where many of us are not seeing ghosts or the hand of God, or however it is so popularly portrayed in the media. It is very subtle. It is realizing that you have had spiritual support around you, for many of you, all of your lives. This is recognizable, something you've always known, and it now begins to make more sense. So the idea that for particularly those of you that feel outside of the norm, you are actually right where you're supposed to be because you have a special job to do. You have a special mission to accomplish, and your positionality has everything to do with your ability to receive the information you need to receive and to be able to share it with others in the ways of your wisdom, your lived wisdom, your bodily experience of that wisdom. I'm going to pull a few cards from the Mayan deck. And I think I mentioned before, I hate to call it the Mayan deck because Mayans didn't create it. Let's put it that way. But it is a beloved deck of mine, created by an artist I met in the late 70s, perhaps. So what I pull for the first house and the seventh house, and then from the African Tarot, I'm going to pull, let's pull the 10th and the 4th house. And I'm going to follow up. I may pull some more clarifiers, but I'm going to follow up with a closing out oracle card from the Rest deck. So in the first house, I have the Lady of Swords. I have in the 10th house, which I usually turn over first, the Nine of Pentacles, because we saw that. In the 4th house, I have the Two of Cups, and in the 7th house, I have the High Priestess. So right away, I see the twos here. This is about reflection and support. So I like the emphasis here on self, others, the relationship between self and others, and the relationship within the self, to the self. The Lady of Swords, I'm going to start here in the first house, is talking about the way in which we are able to distance ourselves, not distance ourselves, put aside our strong emotions in order to think about them, to formulate them as thoughts, to receive thoughts, to engage our intuition in a way that allows us to translate feelings, visions, images, energies in an order, in a frame that can support our understanding of things that may be occurring to us for the first time. So this is coming to me as you receiving revelation, intuition, uh, uh, this enlightenment, this consciousness that now you are no longer passively receiving, you are engaging your truth in order to be open to having your own biases, prejudices, assumptions being challenged. So you now understand that you have grown. As you grow, things occur differently. You've moved along a spectrum of knowledge, growth, and the courage, the pursuit of justice, the understanding that if others are not free, if others are poor or hungry, we are not free. We are not abundant. We are not safe. And we are not protecting or providing protection for our neighbors or other community members. This is something within our capacity. And so it's very important that we attend to it and don't take our privileges for granted. In the fourth house, this is the place of where here you have your perspective, your operating mantra going into the world, your perception in your everyday activities. Here we are at our foundation, our home, our roots, our ancestry or family history. The Two of Cups is really talking about the way we have learned to love. And this is, it's no mistake that it goes precisely over the healing card as something like a caduceus is featured here. And the caduceus is a joining of not only the serpent of wisdom, the knowledge of good and evil. I'm thinking back to the garden, the supposed Garden of Eden, and wings that are the thoughts that elevate us, that help us to connect with the divine. So this healing energy is always active. It moves up and down our spines if we're thinking about Kundalini, consciousness, awareness. It grows, it contracts. So it moves in both directions. It moves towards the heavens, towards deity, and it pulls back in within our bodies, as above, so below, as within, so without. So this is really talking about our focus on what is real love. What does real healing look like? And as I am thinking about this self-love that we talk about so frequently, sometimes in very glib ways, as if it's easy to do, or is as if many of us have really even experienced the greatest love of all. As I'm thinking of the Whitney Houston song, right, is inside of me. And this is the rock, the heartbeat that disallows, does not permit anything from shaking the sense of integrity that no matter what happens, whether I'm winning or losing, I am true to me. And this is the love, I think, that is being centered on. And this is what we're learning and in many ways teaching ourselves because we're ready. We have looked at who we are, and we are doing that work eternally, work that never stops, healing that never stops. And so we are moving to a level in which we understand our bodies are our friends. Our feelings are what allow us to know what's good for us, what's right for us. When we feel certain emotions and anxiety, for instance, we know that we're not right with something. And it is incumbent upon us to identify what isn't right, how to identify that. Sometimes it's about taking control, other times it's about releasing control. And I think here we move to the seventh house with the fish. This idea of purification, regeneration, refreshing ourselves, renewing ourselves. And we have the high priestess here. It's interesting because this is called in some older decks Isis veiled or veiled Isis. So here, her magic is something that she holds within. This is not for everybody to see or know about. She enlists other forces, specifically in the Egyptian myth. She enlists the aid of Thoth, the trickster, who can move things around and make other things appear in ways that provide openings for Isis. So there are many stories. The High Priestess card is in many decks featured as resting on the partial moon, the crescent moon. And this is the connection not only between uh, uh, receiving and giving out, or as within, so without, but it's also about understanding that she is not the source. Rather, she facilitates wisdom, knowledge, healing, magic, and she's also a symbol of motherhood, right? She allows for this sense of sort of cosmic protection. She takes protection of the cosmos, the galaxies, the Milky Way, not just our planet Earth. So this is about her channeling energy that is indeed supporting our earthly existence, but going and opening us up far beyond that. In other words, we have more wisdom, more opportunities than we can possibly be aware of simply in this mortal coil. And in the 10th house, the service card, this is how, not only how you take your place in the world, where you understand your contribution and you belong in your community, in the world, in your family, but it's also about the way others see you, how you show up for others, how you model behavior that is absolutely about self-interest. And there is some misconception that when you're acting through a self-interest that you're being selfish. And if it isn't doing you good, then it can't possibly be doing anyone else any good. So here, the Nine of Pentacles is showing this phenomenal independence in standing in your integrity, doing what you know you need to do that is right for you. This is not about being separated from people. This is definitely about being independent enough within and outside of your relationships to claim your justice, your truth, to be in integrity in your actions, because you have the freedom to be so, to choose for yourself. And this is a beautiful card, really, of enjoying the abundance, the products of your labor. That includes the things that you invest in for yourself, the idea of cyclical investment in yourself, in your interest, in your projects, in your efforts. And it also is about cultivating that garden with peace, knowing that it isn't for display for others. This is for you. This is where you regenerate. This is where you find and relax into who you authentically are, knowing that you're recharging for the work that you will then invest in outside of yourself. It's balancing the abundance necessary to enjoy the luxuries of an independent life, but also to recognize that the bulk of your effort goes into seeding and investing in similar projects, similar relationships, similar missions, and those that are similarly aligned to you. I'm not feeling like I have a whole lot more to say. I am going to pull a rest card. And this is, I should get more about this deck. It's a beautiful deck that was created by a woman who wants us to take rest seriously. And this is in perfect alignment with the idea of embodiment, how we employ and engage our healing, our revelation, our conscious growth within our bodies. And I pulled, I am magical and divine. And it reads, you are exhausted physically and spiritually because the pace created by this system is for machines and not a magical and divine human being. Your body has information to share with you, but you must slow down to receive it. There is power in knowing you are enough right now and always. So I want to thank you so much for this beautiful reading. If this has resonated for you, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I always welcome your comments. Feel free to drop a comment. And until next time, namaste.